Hi, welcome to Story Time with Gigi. Today we're going to be reading another story from our Disney bedtime favorites, A Treasury of Tales. Our story today is from Chicken Little, and it's called A Day to Remember. Last year, Chicken Little's life had changed forever. He thought the sky was falling and had warned the people of Okie Oaks, causing a panic. Then, when nothing happened, people got mad at him. Now everyone called him a crazy little chicken, but Chicken Little had had enough. As he headed for the school bus, he decided that he was going to make a change. Today is a new day, he told himself, but things didn't seem to be going Chicken Little's way. A bunch of kids ran toward the bus and knocked him over. Before he could get up, the bus drove off. Chicken Little leaped up and ran after the bus. He could see his classmates, Foxy Loxy and Goosey Lucy, watching him. With a nasty smirk, Foxy tipped a bag full of acorns out of the window. Whoa! Chicken Little slipped on the rolling acorns and fell flat on his back. Foxy, Goosey, and the other kids laughed as the bus sped by. Chicken Little dashed down the sidewalk and started to cross the street. But he wasn't watching where he was going. Squish! He stepped on a piece of gum. He tried to move, but the gum was too sticky. Suddenly, the light turned green. The cars were headed straight for Chicken Little. Quickly, he pulled a lollipop from his pocket and licked it. Then he slapped the lollipop onto a car's rear bumper and held on tight. The car yanked him out of the gum, but his pants had stuck to the ground. Determined to get to school, Chicken Little jumped from the car and dashed from one clump of bushes to the next. He was in his underwear, after all. When he finally arrived, he realized he couldn't just walk in the front door without any pants. Then Chicken Little noticed a soda machine and had an idea. He got a bottle of soda, shook it as hard as he could, then tied it to his back. When he took the cap off, the fizzy soda shot him into the air like a rocket. Chicken Little flew through an open window and landed on the gym floor. He'd made it! Now all he had to do was find a pair of pants. A little while later, Chicken Little hurried into gym class wearing a pair of origami pants he had cleverly made out of his math homework. The class was playing dodgeball. As Chicken Little played, he told his friends Abby, Runt, and Fish about his plan to do something so great that everyone would forget about the skies falling incident. Suddenly, Foxy Loxy smacked Abby in the face with a ball. "That does it," Chicken Little said to Foxy. "We've had enough of your bullying. Apologize right now." Instead, Foxy's sidekick, Goosey, grabbed Chicken Little and threw him across the room. Splat! He hit the window. As he started to fall, he grabbed a handle on the wall. Ring! He had pulled the fire alarm. Sprinklers went off, soaking everything in sight. Chicken Little's origami pants filled with water until, rip, they tore and slid off. Chicken Little had lost his pants for the second time that day. When the principal found out, he called Chicken Little's father, Buck Cluck. Chicken Little sat on a bench outside the principal's office, listening. "Ever since that sky is falling incident, he's been nothing but trouble," Principal Fetchit told Buck. "Now, you know I have the utmost respect for you. We haven't had a baseball star like you in 20 years, but let's face the facts. Your kid is nothing like you. Things had better change soon, or else." "Okay, thank you for talking to me," Buck replied sadly. "I'll take care of my son." As Chicken Little listened, he stared unhappily at a case full of baseball trophies that Buck had helped win. Chicken Little wished he could make his dad proud of him. On the drive home, Chicken Little said, "Dad, I was thinking, what if I joined the baseball team?" Buck was so surprised he nearly crashed the car. "Baseball?" he said. "Are you sure?" "You were such a big baseball star in high school," Chicken Little replied. "I figured you could give me some pointers." Buck wasn't so sure. After all, Chicken Little was such a tiny chicken. "Just please try not to get your hopes too high," he told his son. Chicken Little was determined to be a great baseball player. His friends helped him train every day, but it was no use. No matter how much Chicken Little practiced, the coach wouldn't let him play. Game after game, Chicken Little sat on the bench while Foxy Loxy, the team's star player, scored home runs. Chicken Little tried not to get discouraged. But how was he going to make his dad proud if he never got the chance? Finally, it was the last game of the season. Chicken Little's team, the Okie Oaks Acorns, was up against their old rivals, the Spud Valley Taters. The Acorns gave it their all, but by the 9th inning, the injuries had mounted and they were down by 1 run. Then Goosey Lucy got on base. A good hit could get her home and tie the game, but they'd still need another run to win. The game was on the line and there were only 2 batters left, Chicken Little and Foxy Loxy. The announcer looked at the lineup card. "Up next, Chicken Little," he said. The crowd was furious. "He's going to lose the game for us. Put in Foxy," one dad shouted. No one expected Chicken Little to even try to hit the ball. If he let 4 balls go by, he could walk to first base and the coach would put Foxy in to try and win the game. Everyone watching held their breath as Chicken Little stepped up to the plate. The pitcher threw the first pitch. Chicken Little swung at the ball. After it had already landed in the catcher's mitt. The crowd gasped. "Strike 1," called the umpire. "Boo," said the crowd. The pitcher threw the second pitch, and Chicken Little missed again. "Strike 2," cried the ump. The pitcher wound up for the third pitch. If Chicken Little missed this ball, the Acorns would lose the game. "Today is a new day," Chicken Little told himself. As the ball came toward him, he closed his eyes and swung his bat hard. Crack! Chicken Little's eyes flew open. He'd hit the ball. Chicken Little was so surprised he just stood there. "Go, son! Run, run!" Buck yelled from the bleachers. At last, Chicken Little began to run. The wrong way. "The other way," his dad called. Finally, Chicken Little figured out which way to run, and luckily the other team hadn't been ready for the hit. To the crowd's astonishment, Chicken Little passed first base, second base, third base. Chicken Little slid into home just as the throw came from the outfield. After the umpire dusted off the plate, he saw Chicken Little's foot and made the call. "The runner is safe!" The crowd went wild. Chicken Little had won the game. At home later that night, Buck and Chicken Little replayed the victory. "The mighty Acorns win!" they cried, dancing around the room. "I guess that puts the whole skies falling incident behind us," said Buck. Chicken Little was thrilled. His plan had worked, and he'd made his dad proud. Maybe, he thought, things were finally changing after all. It had been a long day, and Chicken Little knew he'd sleep well that night. After all, one of his dreams had just come true. And that's our story. I hope you liked it. Make sure that you like and subscribe and share with your friends. Bye until next time.